Filling your fan clutch with silicone oil. So, I haven't talked about this a lot, but there's a real problem on the market with Mercedes parts, and that's that a lot of fan clutches out there are now just replacement junk. Don't know where it comes from. Actually, we do know where it comes from. It comes from the same place that the coronavirus came from. Basically, you know, these fan clutches are not a great solution to your car's cooling issues. Now, sometimes I admit we have to use aftermarket fan clutches. We have no choice. But I'm going to teach you how to try to repair, or refill rather, a factory fan clutch with a very simple procedure. And so, now, sometimes, no matter what you do, these fan clutches just freewheel like crazy. Maybe it's because the tolerances in them were not great to begin with, but some of them bounce right back with the inclusion of a little silicone oil. So, I like to use 5,000 CST silicone oil for this job, but if you live in a really hot climate, you can use 10,000 CST silicone oil. And what silicone oil, this extremely thick, gooey silicone oil does is it fills up the fan clutch and provides a mechanical connection between the outer part of the fan clutch, which is the hub, and the inner part, which is the driven plate from the water pump. And how to access that is we pull our fan blade off and we undo our plastic cover. And by the way, the reason this plastic cover exists is to keep this bimetallic spring here from flying off into the radiator. So if you don't have one, you may want one. Now, on one side you'll see that there's an opening here. On the other side you'll see it's closed. What you're going to do is you're going to push down and slide, and the plate comes off. And then there's a little pin. Hello, little pin. And there is a hole. So, take the hole, take your silicone oil, and you force it in. Now, this can take, I'm actually not doing it right now because I don't want to get this gooey, nasty stuff all over my clothes, but as you force feed silicone oil into the hole, you're going to see bubbles come out, an air bubble. And you want to work through the air bubbles because one of these usually takes about, when they're empty, about 4 ounces, 3.5 to 4 ounces of silicone oil. So that's a lot of oil. Now, what do I do sometimes to get it to go in faster? Well, I will get a clamp that closes under tension. When you let it go, it closes, and clamp it to the bottle and just hold it here and let the bottle sort of feed itself in. I usually get 2 bottles. They're about $6 each on Amazon. And what happens is this oil from the silicone oil is force fed into the clutch, and you have to burp the clutch occasionally by putting the pin, the little pin, the brass pin, back in its hole and spinning it and burping the clutch. So you're going to spin the clutch, sometimes in a vise, and burp it. And so what's going to happen is, as you burp it, more and more silicone oil is going to leak down into the lower cavity. Now, this 8mm bolt here, you can't get that thing loose. Once it's in, it's in. You can't really take these apart. There's only one way to get silicone oil, and it's to that little tiny hole. Now, you could do this on any Mercedes fan clutch. 603, 602, 601 clutches, M130 clutches, 617 clutches. You know, it doesn't matter which version you have. I picked the V8 clutch because usually they're the ones that are caught freewheeling, but they don't always freewheel because of a mechanical deficiency. Now, it may take like an hour to 2 hours to get the thing completely full. I am not joking. It may take a really long time to get that sucker completely filled up with oil. I mean, you could be there for, you know, if this is your first time doing it, for 2 or 3 hours trying to get it full, but it is worth it because you save the expense of buying a used or new fan clutch, and you end up with a car that, you know, can keep itself cool under most circumstances. It's just really a wonderful thing. But this is basically a plea for you not to throw out your original socks or original German-made Bear fan clutch. Now, there's one fan clutch that you can't do this to. It's the 80 and earlier fan clutch used on M117 and M116. Of course, Euro version M116 engines. That would be 450 SL, SLC, 280 SE 4.5. But because they don't have an out hole, they usually don't lose oil. So there you go. Anyway, if you found this video informative, useful, and helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Tap the bell for notifications, and leave a comment below if you have any other solutions or advice for repairing the fan clutch. This advice came to me from Jonathan Hodgman, originally at Blue Ridge Mercedes in Atlanta, and it was very helpful. And so thank you, Jonathan, for that. And I will in the future show you some more repair tips or parts in your car that you thought were spent. Thank you so much. Enjoy repairing the parts of your Mercedes.